Aliens, leviathans, dripping fear in the face of the deep unknown. There's crafting and cool vehicles too, but mainly poop in my pants as I unravel the mysteries of this beautiful yet terrifying alien planet. Can I save myself and maybe the entire ecosystem while I'm at it? Probably not, to be honest. I'll be too busy hiding. Either way, I played 100 days of Subnautica.
Ooh. Shit go boom. Escape pod go boom too, apparently. Oh. Got clocked on the noggin.
I whacked my way free of the harness and found my escape pod was a tad toasty, so I let loose with the fire extinguisher. My iPad told me I'd suffered minor head trauma, which was optimal apparently. There was a log, a databank with lots of handy info, and a whole bunch of blueprints. And we love some juicy crafting options, so this was good news.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Sick.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
No human life detected, okay. That's concerning.
This planet was rather moist, so I figured I might as well jump in and begin figuring out how to save myself. And it is pretty down here. These weirdo fish that outswam me, the flora, the rays of sunlight through the water, lovely.
What do I do?
Over near these bright green bulb butt creatures, I found some metal salvage. I swam inside this coral tube and got stuck behind this writhing weed, and this helpful tip encouraged me to break the limestone, in which I found some titanium. As you can see, I've got limited oxygen, so I surfaced often, and I also had health, hunger, and thirst to attend to.
Look at my shadow. Whee! I'm a skinny fella. What was that? There's no need for weird noises, mate.
Back in the escape pod, which I guess was my base of operations for now, I discovered I could break down each metal salvage into 4 titanium chunks. I realized there was a storage chest with some food and water, so I grabbed it and chucked all my titanium in storage. I continued acquainting myself with the tools and equipment I could craft, but most of it required more than just titanium, so it was beyond me for now.
Okay, I've consumed some food. Looks like a wheat bix.
And I discovered I could pin items to help me keep track of the materials I needed. I now had something clear to aim for, so out I swam. I found quartz and a great abundance of acid mushrooms.
Oxygen.
Oh. Gotta remember to breathe. Probably a worthy concern.
Alien life forms may have unexpected applications.
What the heck do I do with you?
So I can just pluck these funky alien fish right out of the water. I found some copper in a limestone outcrop, saw this scary looking weirdo and immediately backtracked, and found the inside of this big coral tube had quite the bounty of materials. But my bags were full up, so I returned to the pod.
I can tell already I'm gonna get very disoriented, turned around underwater in this game.
Let me tell you, that observation proved true. I got lost willy-nilly in this game. So as you're watching, just assume I'm pretty much always at least slightly lost. I cooked the bladderfish and ate it, and drank the water from the storage chest too. I crafted an oxygen tank, which increased my O2 capacity from 45 to 75, and also unlocked a blueprint for an upgraded higher capacity tank. I also made a battery from copper and acid mushrooms, which I used to craft a scanner. I ended this crafting sesh fabricating a couple of floaty chests, which I placed here to empty my inventory into. I found I could scan stuff, which added info to my databank, providing directions and clues for progression. Nothing was safe from my scanning bonanza. That's not entirely true actually. This rabbit Ray was pretty safe as he was hard to catch.
Hey, stop doing big farts, bro. It's not appropriate.
I scanned a garryfish and a peeper, and I returned into the coral tube where I found some creature eggs and a shuttle bug, and I may have nearly drowned.
Oh crap. We're good, calm down.
I found these sandstone outcrops that yielded silver ore, gold ore, and lead. And just as the iPad lady informed me she smelled sulfur nearby, I realized something.
Oh crap, I'm gonna drown. I'm gonna drown. No! Did I just die?
Yep.
I died and lost some belongings. Oh, I lost lots of belongings.
So that drowning felt like a rite of passage, because if you're on an ocean planet, you might as well drown at least once. No big deal. I caught a bunch more fishies and realized I could turn the bladderfish straight into a bottle of H2O, and I cooked up the rest. I discovered cooked peepers seemed to be the most nutritious, so I made bladderfish my go-to water source, and peepers my go-to food source ongoing. On day 3, I braved slightly deeper waters as I headed into this kelp forest.
Yeah. This is the stuff I can turn into rubber. Those guys don't look friendly though.
I collected a bunch of these creepvine seed clusters, and as I slowly swam back to base, I said,
I need to build something to move around faster.
I turned the creepvine seed clusters into silicon rubber, which I used to make some fins and a survival knife. I also made some more floaty chests as I needed more storage space.
I can write stuff on it. Dingus. Beautiful.
I was swimming noticeably faster thanks to the fins, which was a relief.
It's all still here. Yay.
2 quartz could be refined into glass. So I made 2 of those and upgraded my O2 tank again.
Nice. What is it now? 135. That's huge.
There were a few basic materials that still eluded me though, such as sulfur and table coral. So I continued sniffing around this shallow biome.
Whoa. What the hell was that?
Let's get an instant replay of that glorious explosion. Oh, and there it is in gorgeous 4K fidelity with impeccable sound design. Oh, hang on, that's from War Thunder. That is right, friends. With over 2,000 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from the past 100 years of development, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made is the sponsor for this video. A big thanks to War Thunder. I think War Thunder's dedication to historical accuracy is phenomenal. From the real-world battleground locations, the modeling of the vehicles down to specific components, and the attention to detail in the way the vehicles perform in combat. You can opt in for a fast, action-packed match, or you can indulge in a more realistic and tactical experience. It's your choice. Play now on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox using the link below to receive a large free bonus pack including multiple premium vehicles, premium account, boosters, and much more. Okay friends, back to Subnautica. The self-destructing bullfed fish gave me some cave sulfur, so I immediately forgave him for his rudeness. I also used my new knife to slash up this shuttlefish, just to see if it yielded me any materials. And it didn't yield me anything, except for a sense of guilt relating to the murder of innocent fish.
Congratulations, survivor. You have exceeded your weekly exercise quotient by 500%. Data indicates that swimming was your favorite activity.
500%. If only I can match that in real life. I think I'm at minus 200% in real life.
I used the cave sulfur to at long last make myself a repair tool, which I used to repair this thingo that restored the life pod's secondary systems. This allowed an environmental diagnostic to run, which revealed some troubling information.
Leviathan class predators. That sounds terrifying. Foreign bacteria. Planet is beyond Federation space. Rescue unlikely. I mean, that sucks.
I also repaired the radio, and I received a helpful message.
Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours.
Well, as long as I can wait 999 hours, I think I'll be fine.
Local radiation readings suggest the Aurora's drag core has reached critical state. Quantum
It's gonna
detonation
blow up
will
in 2
occur
hours? Are
within
you
2
serious?
hours.
I'm just watching it because I want it to blow up. Blow up. Blow up. Blow up. Blow up. Blow up.
It didn't blow up. I whacked this brain coral with my knife to see what would happen.
Oh, I broke it. Oh, what the heck?
I had no idea what to do with the brain coral samples though, so I chucked them next to my pod.
They look like almonds. Why does a brain coral sample look like? Okay, whatever.
I applied my new knowledge regarding the merit of slashing things and collected myself some table coral. I made some copper wire from 2 copper ore and grabbed that 1 gold ore I found earlier and used all this to craft a computer chip. Progress. I headed back out in search of silver. I got exploded on.
Ow!
I found this pile of wreckage and I tried to scan this spotty stalker.
I just want to scan you. No, don't eat me.
As I was scouring these cave systems in search of them juicy sandstone outcrops, I received a warning.
Oh,
5, 4, 3,
okay,
2,
okay. Well, that's not good.
I was helpfully provided with a radiation suit blueprint, which will come in handy now that the nuclear reactor of the Aurora was well and truly breached. I made myself a flashlight and another floaty chest for my growing hoard of materials.
So many chests. So many chests.
I kept on top of my food and water situation and then headed back into the caves with my new flashlight, but it wasn't the most fruitful
I
search.
barely found anything, let alone silver. Give me a big blob of... Yeah, delicious. The brain coral helps you breathe.
I ventured towards this deeper biome with red noodly grass, and I found salt as well as a big salt deposit that required a tool of some sort to mine.
Oh crap. What are you? Leave me alone.
The brain coral kept my O2 levels up as I explored, and when I wandered too far this way, I received a radiation warning.
I can hear fishes groaning. Oh, what are those? Is that what's groaning? It's like a big weird whale, right?
These big buffers are reef-back leviathans, and they do indeed have reefs on their backs. I cleaned her up a bit by breaking this barnacle off her back, and I was rewarded with some silver ore, the miracle of symbiosis. And this tiger plant shot a barb at me.
Tiger plant. Ow!
I made the long swim home, catching fish as I went, and as I finally made my first wiring kit, I listened to a radio distress call from LifePod 3. I received their last known coordinates.
Give me 1 Habitat builder.
You won't believe it, but I used my habitat builder to build a habitat. A couple of eye compartments with a hatch. It had no power and no oxygen, but it was home.
Pumps oxygen from a powered habitat to an attached pipe network.
Now this tooltip clearly explains what this air pump does, but I was too much of a goose to comprehend it even though I literally read it out loud. And so I spent ages trying to use this thing to somehow get oxygen to my new base. I tried attaching it to the pod, I tried attaching it to brain coral, cause those have oxygen so it makes sense, and I gave up on my stupid quest for a bit and crafted one of these storage lockers, which was a nice improvement on the silly little floater chests. I then headed off to investigate the source of LifePod 3's distress signal. It was a few hundred meters away in this kelp forest. I found a crew log and the blueprint for a compass.
What the hell? I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I don't care.
I also found this sea glide fragment, and upon scanning it, I was informed I'd reached 50% progress towards something. I opened up my databank and had a listen to the crew log I'd just picked up. It revealed the two survivors' attempt to upgrade a sea glider in hopes it would take them both to safety. Something tells me it did not successfully take them to safety. I collected goodies on the way home and scanned this beautiful eye stalk.
Oh, what? Mobile vehicle base fragment scanned. 1 out of 3. Ow! You cheeky bugger. Alright, so I found some fragments that helped me learn how to make a sea glide, which sounds amazing, and a mobile vehicle bay.
I was now on the lookout for debris to scan, because I was certainly keen for some new tech to make my underwater life easier. I arrived home to another radio transmission.
This is Avery Quinn of Trading Ship Sunbeam. Aurora, do you read? Over.
This spaceship was offering to come and rescue the survivors of the Aurora wreck, but obviously we weren't responding due to the big boom. Obviously my little radio receiver thingo doesn't have the capacity to transmit, otherwise I would send something to the effect of, yeah please mate, come get me, it's very wet here. I then expanded my storage situation by 2 lockers, before continuing with my idiotic experiments. This time I crafted a floating air pump and some pipes, and I rigged this glorious contraption. I have no idea why this didn't work, to be honest. I gave up eventually, wondering if perhaps my habitat was destined to be oxygen free for eternity, and I listened to another radio transmission. This one was from LifePod 6, and the exact coordinates were corrupted, but I had some clues as to where they might be, including this photo which featured red noodle grass. I grabbed some creepvine samples, which I turned into fiber mesh, which I combined with lead to make a radiation suit. I also made a compass.
My heads-up display at the top there shows the direction I'm facing. Very useful.
I continued with my goose-tastic experiments, placing the base-attached air thingo here, and it of course did nothing. And then I finally figured it out. A solar panel, except it was night, so I had to wait a bit. But as day 8 dawned, success at last.
Power restored. Okay. Oh, it just automatically has O2 as long as I've got power. Okay, okay.
Aurora, this is Sunbeam again. We just picked up a massive debris field at your location. I didn't know how many of you... I didn't know. We're now en route to your location. We're gonna bring you home. Sunbeam out.
So rescue was on its way. Wonderful news. But somehow I had a bad feeling about it. Mainly because if they rescued me on day 10, it wouldn't be conducive to the 100-day format of this video. I emptied all these floaty chests and moved their contents to my inside storage, which I expanded some more, and I now had no use for these, so I left them in a jumble above my base.
Alright, there's all my random lockers. Looking hideous.
I also placed a fabricator on the wall. I headed out collecting resources and found myself some stuff to scan. A beacon fragment, a grav trap fragment, and most excitingly, a sea glide fragment.
Ooh, ooh. That's a new blueprint, baby. Sea glide. Battery, lubricant, copper wire, titanium.
I had all of the above stocked at base, so I crafted one immediately.
Toggle map. Whoa. It's got a map. Well, this is good news. This is good news for all Australians. Look at me glide through the sea.
I used my new zippy zip speed to good effect, finding a laser cutter fragment.
Ah! Get out of here. Get out of here.
And a sea moth fragment.
Get some. Get some. Get some.
And a bar table.
Yes, the blueprint I've been looking for my whole life.
So I guess there are decorative things you can build too. At this much larger chunk of wreckage, I found a couple of fragments on the outside, and I was able to actually find my way inside.
Oh, here we go. Laser cutter. That's 3 out of 3, I believe. Okay, we're unlocking new blueprints.
I also got some choice pottery blueprints. And heading all the way to the surface for breath wasn't so bad now that I had my sea glide. I was in a red noodle biome, so I hoped I might stumble upon LifePod 6, and sure enough, there it was. I found a blueprint for a fin upgrade, and 2 crew logs that can be summarized by this.
That's not a distress flare! Stop waving it around like that, you'll catch the fuel line!
Oh dear, Lifepod 6 had a doozy.
On day 10, I ventured closer to the ship. I found my first chunks of lithium and had a peek at the big old wreck from close up. I found this supply crate, which offered sage advice.
Disinfected water.
Preparing the day's water ration ahead of time will help ensure against dehydration and eventual death.
Yeah, some would say.
I also unlocked the propulsion cannon blueprint, so this expedition was certainly quite fruitful. I was getting new tech willy-nilly.
This game's got a real, it's like a smoothness to it. It's smooth.
I'm not really sure what I meant by that, but you better believe that Subnautica is as smooth as the bonnet of a Porsche. I arrived home to another distress call on the radio.
Our pod was almost crushed by this Seamoth Bay on the way down. Now we're hanging on the edge of a cave system, and this grim-looking snake thing's trying to eat through the hull. Come get us already.
I didn't like the sound of the snake-looking thing, but at least I had another lead to follow. I gathered the materials to make the Ultra Glide fins, but found I wasn't able to craft it at the fabricator, so I assumed I needed to unlock a higher tier crafting machine. And since my Sea Glide was getting low on battery, I just straight up made a new one. I could have just changed the battery, but I was a bit too much of a goose to work that out just yet. I caught some fish and made my first cured peepers with salt, and these last forever, unlike the cooked peepers I'd been eating earlier, which spoil quite quickly. Now well stocked with delicious salty peepers, I zoomed off towards Lifepod 17, and I found it in this other red noodle biome. There were no giant snakes to be seen. It probably ate the silly nerds that were stranded here and went for a nap, so that was good news. The bloke that got eaten by the snake sounded quite sad on the crew logs.
I don't understand how we're here now. I don't know why no one's coming for me.
But more importantly, I found another Seamoth fragment, fully unlocking a new vehicle blueprint. Very juicy. I expanded my storage because I had heaps of materials, which is great news because I love hoarding goodies in games like this. You never know when you might need something. I also made a sign that said dingus. I mean, store things here. Yeah, it was a rather pointless sign. I gathered the materials to craft a Seamoth, including fabrication of my first titanium ingot out of 10 titanium, and my first power cell out of 2 batteries. But I didn't have a mobile vehicle bay yet, so I couldn't make the actual Seamoth. I struck out in search of more silver ore, as I needed more wiring kits for my next crafting projects. I'm not sure if some stuff respawned or I just found totally new caves, but I found a decent haul of goodies. I returned home on day 12 with a bag load looking like this. I used the 2 silver ore I'd found to make a rebreather helmet, and this thing conserves oxygen at depths below 100 meters. The problem was I needed to keep my radiation helmet on me as well, so I was a little annoyed about the inventory management.
Oh, my inventory's already so small as is. How frustrating.
I found my second mobile vehicle fragment, great news, and I ventured into this cave system down in the kelp forest for the first time. It featured these pretty stinger danglies.
Be advised, a common complication for cave divers is loss of orientation, followed by eventual asphyxiation.
Yeah. Agreed.
I had been thinking the exact same thing as the iPad lady, so I held off getting too tangled in the cave system just yet. I zoomed around collecting and soon enough found exactly what I was looking for.
Oh. Okay, that's what I wanted. Mobile vehicle.
I immediately returned to base and constructed one, and I released it into the sea.
What on earth? Okay.
I had to gather the Seamoth materials again because I used up half of them on the bay itself, but eventually it was time.
Craft.
The Seamoth is a fast, safe mode of transport, but remember that
What the
swimming
heck?
is good for your glutes and endorphin levels.
Swimming's good for your glutes. Alright, my Seamoth just got dropped. Let's go.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Woohoo! Can I pick stuff up in this? No, but I can run into stuff.
My Sea Glide was dead out of battery power though, so I spent some time fiddling around and finally figured it out.
Okay. Now I know you press R and you can exchange batteries. Cool. In that case, we gotta keep batteries with us.
And so I crafted a few batteries to keep in my inventory as spares.
Whee! Let's go. We're on the move now, baby.
I continued exploring and collecting, except much faster now, and with the convenience of being able to catch my breath in the Seamoth, rather than having to go all the way to the surface or huddle atop a brain coral.
This could be something. Beacon? Coffee vending machine? Getting some blueprints, man.
I returned to another radio message, this from the officer who had assumed command after the captain of the Aurora's demise. He had sent rendezvous coordinates at dry land, which was a surprise to me. I thought this planet was 100% wet. Unfortunately, the coordinates were corrupted, but I did receive the location of his life pod. I stocked my bags for an adventure, including making my first beacon, as well as a spare power cell in case the Seamoth ran out of battery, and off I went. Lifepod 19 was over 1 kilometer away, so I of course got distracted by some stuff stuff on the way. I found yet another wreck, where I found the entire scanner room blueprint.
I think I could probably get in there with a laser cutter, but I don't know where to find diamonds.
I then ventured towards an even deeper biome in search of LifePod 19. The deepest I'd gone so far was about 100 meters, but this appeared to be much deeper than that.
You know what? I'm terrified. It's terrifying.
I slowly made my way down, constantly looking left and right for signs of danger.
Warning, maximum depth reached. Hull damage imminent.
Oh,
200 meters was my depth limit in the Seamoth, and this lifepod was down at 300 meters. I was distracted by this wreck for a bit, where I found another bonanza of blueprint fragments, including the thermal plant, bioreactor, moon pool, floodlight, and prawn suit torpedo arm. I parked the Moth at 200 meters and plucked up my courage.
let's just do it. This isn't so bad. What's this? Charger, that's what I need. What's doing damage to me? What's doing damage to me? Oh, it's these idiots. Oh gosh. Hide. Data box. Ultra high capacity tank, that's what we need.
I also found the coordinates for the rendezvous and crew logs for LifePod 19.
Am I gonna drown? No. Alright, let's get back in the... Alright, we're good. This is no problem.
Just in case you can't tell, I was genuinely terrified swimming into that chasm. The crew logs featured the final words of the captain of the Aurora.
Captain, you need to evacuate.
Negative. You'll need the ship in one piece if you're going to contact HQ on the long range. I'm attempting a controlled descent.
Captain!
Alright, we're attempting to reach this land mass. It doesn't look... What is this? Oh, it actually is dry land. No way.
This thing is an ancient floater, grown so big it buoyed up an entire landmass that was now functionally an island. I found a spot to climb ashore.
So first time on land. How weird.
I scanned a few bushes as night fell, and found the rendezvous signal was down in this big hole. These logs told of the two people that actually made it to the rendezvous, deciding to attempt a return to the Aurora to establish long-range communications.
We were intercepted by a Leviathan-class predator before we could reach the ship. Consider the CTO and I lost at sea.
No one else except me is having much luck. It seems. Oh crap. Is that just a dead end now? Was I supposed to find something else?
I wasn't sure, so I headed back to base having learned very little. On the way, I cleaned up some reef backs.
I wonder if they appreciate me Hang on. Is this the same thing? This looks different. Why are you naked?
Not that baby reef back though, as its back was not very reefy. I took stock of the crafting options that had opened up to me, and I wanted to make an ultra high capacity tank, but it required the modification station, so I made note to keep an eye out for that blueprint. I also repaired my Seamoth with the repair tool, as it apparently took some damage, probably from all the fish I ran over. I then expanded my base. I made an X compartment, a glass eye compartment, because I thought it would be cool to see out, and a scanner room. This thing lets you select a resource, and the scanner displays where they're located out in the environment.
Give me sandstone chunks. There's only one sandstone chunk nearby. Are you serious?
It also takes a while to find them all, but I wasn't impressed, so I turned it off. I made a coffee machine too.
It's just wing coffee. Oh.
These coffees only give 4 hydration, so they weren't particularly useful, but why not? Apparently I left the scanner room on searching for stalker teeth, and I realized I could actually see them marked. This changed my mind, and I decided the scanner room might be useful after all, so I set it onto sandstone chunks again. I don't know why I didn't grab the stalker teeth first, as I didn't have any of those yet, but I guess I really love them sandstone chunks.
Another radio message.
Aurora, we're approaching the planet now. We have a landing site for you that's... well, it's better than the alternatives.
So the sunbeam was 40 minutes out, and I'd been sent their landing location coordinates. 40 minutes is a long time though, so I kept busy. I crafted 2 more solar panels because I'd ran out of power during the night. These increased the total power limit by 75 each, by the way, and obviously they generate power during sunlight. I collected a bunch of creep vine samples and crafted fiber mesh, just because I wanted to stock up a little, and I made yet 2 more solar panels.
So the max power now should be 375. Surely I last the nights with that much power.
The floating chests above my base were annoying me, so I moved them down under this arch.
This is the graveyard of floating storage chests.
And after the success of the scanner machine, I didn't even bother collecting the sandstone outcrops for some reason. I instead chose to zoom around catching myself a stockpile of food. I received yet another radio distress signal, this one from LifePod 13. This took me to a giant mushroom biome. There were shiny blue fishies, but no sign of anything too terrifying. And this pod's crew logs were quite spiritual.
Life is a game which the universe plays with itself. I am done playing as this bundle of flesh. Return me.
Tassar is definitely a unique bloke.
I explored this new biome, scanning this jelly ray and tree mushroom, and collecting as I went. On day 17, I found this chunk of wreckage perched on a mushroom tree, and once again it offered a bounty of new blueprints. Most notably, 2 out of 3 fragments for the modification station, and a Cyclops thermal module, whatever that is. I found another wreck on the way back to base. My efforts here earned me the bioreactor blueprint. I'd let myself get distracted for too long though, as the clock had run down for the Sunbeam's arrival, and I was nowhere near the landing zone.
Detecting massive power surge from anomalous contact. Energy discharge detected. Vessel signature lost.
Oh. Well, I think the Sunbeam had some trouble. I was just about to go to the rendezvous to meet with you guys, but I think you're turned ashy.
It seems like something or someone shot down their ship, since the iPad lady mentioned an energy discharge. And the tail end of the explosion that I caught there had some weird greenness to it. Curiouser and curiouser. I made a scanner room upgrade out of gold and silver, and I was hoping to do the old sandstone chunk search again, but it had mysteriously disappeared from the list of options.
Where did it go?
I have no idea why. I instead set it to search for wrecks, hoping I might track down the final modification station fragment. I collected for a while, checked out some of the wrecks the scanner room found, but sadly they were ones I'd already visited, and then I ventured towards the Aurora wreck again. I found a couple of supply crates with batteries in them, which was pleasing, and I found this water filtration suit in a time capsule. Looks like this thing captures your wee so you can drink it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pop it on as I needed radiation protection, but it was a joyous find nonetheless. As I ventured further towards the front of the crash zone, I spotted something that resulted in pants poopage.
Oh, hello. Oh! Oh! That big boy is having a field day. I'm not a fan of that big boy. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I fled into the wreck, and I had a thorough look around, but I was unable to find anything of use, nor any way to enter the wreckage, so I left.
Yeah, there's that big scary one. Oh. Yeah. Oh dear. Please don't chase me. Run.
Fortunately, the big buffer left me alone, so I made it back unharmed. And then I headed north, which had been the direction in which the Sunbeam was supposed to land. The exact marker had disappeared, but I knew it was about 1 kilometer away, and I knew I was looking for land. Soon enough, I had success.
Oh, what is that? That looks scary. I dislike that. Oh. Oh, what on earth?
I was distracted by this cave crawler and this cave, so I chose to ignore the creepy monolith for the time being. I came across my first shale outcrop.
Oh yeah, why is my inventory has to be full, doesn't it? Where'd the diamond go?
Remember that materials you gather are the property of the All Terra Corporation. You will be liable to reimburse the full market price.
Excuse me?
Your current bill stands at 3 million credits.
That's outrageous. Hold on, before I go in this cave, I need to investigate what this alien nonsense is.
I grabbed some bulbo tree samples first, and these proved to be a decent food and water source.
That thing's... Whoa, did that thing just teleport?
I found this force field blocking the entrance to the strange structure, and I found this broken purple tablet, and upon scanning it, I received a blueprint.
Ion cube and 2 diamonds. Interesting.
And I found an intact purple tablet, which I used to bring down the force field. Honestly, that's a bit sloppy from the aliens. You really shouldn't leave keys lying around right outside your locked door. This place was kind of cool, kind of creepy, but it seemed completely abandoned, and for that, I was grateful. This data terminal had my iPad lady surmising that the aliens were a rather advanced race, if that wasn't already obvious.
Whoa. Oh, ion cube. High capacity alien energy source.
Another data terminal revealed that this facility was the enforcement platform, powered by a separate self-sustaining power plant that supposedly harnesses the planet's thermal energy.
Do I just jump? Oh. Why don't we have these kind of elevators? Glorious.
There was a huge moon pool for docking underwater vehicles down here, and a big rampy area featuring this alien gun and hand grenade, as well as another purple tablet. I used the tablet to enter this final room.
What is this? Oh.
The control panel is broadcasting a message. Translation reads, "Warning, infected individuals may not disable the weapon. This planet is under quarantine."
Infected individuals may not disable the weapon. Further alien facilities elsewhere on the planet. Okay, this is a disease research facility. 800 meters down. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. So there's a bacterium called Kara. And they're trying to heal it. The thermal power facilities 1,200 meters deep. It's so flaming deep. The quarantine enforcement platform will target all incoming and outgoing craft to prevent the spread of an infection outworld. The plot thickens. This facility is a weapon that destroyed both the Aurora and the Sunbeam, purely as a measure to ensure the disease never spreads to other planets. So even if I managed to build a spaceship to try and get off-world, it would get shot down unless I turned this machine off. But it wouldn't let me turn it off because its giant needle determined I was carrying the disease. Well, that sucks. But the aliens were researching a vaccine, so I hoped if I could track down their findings, I'd be able to cure myself and disable the weapon. I also found this big arch thingy, and scans suggested it was part of an advanced transportation network. I headed back out and had another look in this cave, including a swim down here, but there wasn't too much to find except another purple tablet. That shale outcrop from before seemed to have reappeared though, so I at least got myself a second diamond. Cyclops engine? What? Moonpool. Oh, I think this is finished then. Yes, let's go. What is a Cyclops engine? Oh, what was that? Dude, that thing is weird. Is it gonna try and kill me? Anything all the way down here? Oh crap. Is it chasing me? It is. Ah! Ah! Leave me alone. I really wanted the third Cyclops engine fragment to finalize that blueprint, but that teleporting weirdo chasing me was my cue to flee. I finally made a laser cutter using those 2 diamonds I found, and then I decided it was time to build a moon pool. I first extended out a path using another glass eye section, and everything went to crap. As you can see, my base's hull strength had decreased to -1, and it was filling up with water. What the why is it filling up with water? For some reason I completely missed that bases had a hull strength rating, so I didn't realize, but when you add things like glass sections, you need to offset the reduction in overall hull strength by reinforcing elsewhere. I removed the glass sections and replaced them with titanium, which got the hull strengths in the positives, but I still had a bunch of holes in my base. How do I make it not weak? What have I done? This is a disaster. I received a radio transmission from LifePod 4. I didn't get their exact location, but I knew to look for them somewhere close to the Aurora crash site at sea level. For now though, I kept trying to fix my base. I thought putting these reinforcements in might help, and it did raise hull strength by 7, but of course it didn't plug the holes. I mean, there's still holes here though. What do I do about these holes? What do? I hear me ask. Repair the holes with the repair tool, you goose. But apparently I was too stupid to figure that out. But my solution was genius. Abandon the flooded base and make a new one. I started making a base over here, like 5 meters away from the old base. I made a moon pool, which was cool, but the fact that it poked above sea level bothered me for some reason, so I decided if I was going to remake my entire base, I might as well do it somewhere deeper. While out looking for likely spots, I bravely ventured into this biome featuring big juicy blue balls. Found some balls. Anchorpod. It's one of those warping weirdos. Okay. And so maybe I wasn't so brave, because I immediately bailed. I headed back to the red noodle biome and had my first usage of the laser cutter, which gained me entry into this wreck. As I was grabbing this blueprint, something rather strange happened.
Blueprint acquired.
What the hell?
What
is this?
are you?
What is this nonsense? What the hell was that? The alien just invaded my mind, which I didn't appreciate. What are you? The big girl asks. You tell me your name and I'll tell you mine. Don't they have manners where you come from? I also found the entire battery charger and modification station blueprint. Alright, well that was a very successful breaking and enter kind of situation. So many new blueprints. You'll love to see it. I just gotta decide where I want to build my new base. This area might be good, you know. And so, my friends, I am proud to present the beginnings of the Red Noodle base. I reinforced this one immediately as I was paranoid about leakages, and I set up a beacon so I'd always be able to find home. Red Noodle base. This new base was about 500 meters away from the old one, so it was a bit of a process breaking down and transporting everything to the new digs. Red Noodle base. Look how aggressive it is. This base was about 100 meters down, but it still received decent sunlight, so I powered it up with some solar panels. And once powered up, I was able to make use of my new moon pool. What happens if you dock in here? Oh yeah. Ooh, fancy. Sick. Does it get charged while you're doing this?
It does indeed receive charge while docked. Very handy. I got my scanner room up and running too, and I began lining the hallway with lockers. I received yet another LifePod distress call. This one was LifePod 12 and coordinates were attached, and I continued ripping down the old base and building the new. I spent most of day 26 setting up all the lockers and organizing my materials, reinforcing the compartments as I went, and I added enough to get my hull strength above 40. And I received yet another radio transmission back at the LifePod.
Can't send a rescue ship all the way out there, so Aurora, you're just gonna have to meet us halfway. We've uploaded blueprints to the ship's computer.
Apparently the security terminal in the captain's quarters of the Aurora was still functional. So if I got there, I'd be able to pick up whatever blueprint these guys were trying to send me. So apparently there was a way into the Aurora wreck, which I'd obviously missed during my earlier visit. And on day 27, after maybe 7 or 8 trips back and forth, I finally grabbed the last of my stock and finished deconstructing the old base. I set up a battery charger on the wall of the moon pool and began recharging my pile of dead batteries. I expanded my solar panel count to 6, and as you can see, I had storage for days. This base didn't have any edible fish nearby though, so I spent some time in the shallows filling my bags with bladderfish and peepers, which I turned into a giant stockpile of water and food to keep me going. I made myself a propulsion cannon, stocked my bags, and headed towards the Aurora crash zone.
It's all just a total mess. The hell am I going? Oh? This looks promising.
And so I finally found where I was supposed to go. I tested out my propulsion cannon on these weirdos, and it was quite satisfying to launch them into oblivion.
This thing's fun.
It was also extremely useful, as I used it to unblock the passage into this part of the wreck. Conveniently, there was a fire extinguisher on the wall, with which I tamed these flames, and in I went. This area was half above and half underwater, so I navigated my way through using the tools at my disposal. I found the Aurora's black box, which provided extra detail into the moments before the crash. Basically, they'd been attempting to slingshot the ship around the planet. You know, the classic maneuver they always do in sci-fi films. But they were of course shot down by the alien facility I was at a few days ago. I navigated my way through this pipey area and emerged into this fiery toasty room where I took a better look at the black box info.
Human life signs detected over long range at T plus 8 hours. 1. I think that's me. Is that me? Am I Riley Robinson?
Well, I may be a complete loner on an extremely wet planet, but at least I know my name now.
What is this? Can I scan this? Prawn suit. Yes. Can make a prawn suit, baby.
I cleared a bunch of debris from these stairs and made my way into these living quarters. I was pleased to find some food and water because I was beginning to worry I hadn't brought enough. And I found this PDA detailing the ship's menu, which was deliciously informative. I was able to scan stuff to earn some new decorative blueprints, but the best find was definitely these posters.
Yes, I get the Keep Calm poster.
I used the code I'd been sent to enter the captain's quarters, where I found this Aurora miniature and the blueprint for the Neptune rocket.
So it looks like I gotta build myself this escape rocket, and I've got to disarm the alien defense thingo that will kill me.
I headed back to the prawn suit room and took this door, continuing my exploration. I found this PDA with a code to enter one of the locked cabins, so I returned to the living quarters and let myself in. I found this arcade toy, and another PDA detailing how it's perfectly reasonable to fire friends and partners if they stop being useful to you. This got me thinking about whether I should fire my 2 small children, since they are quite useless. But then I remembered they fill me with love and joy, so I added them to the maybe pile. I headed back and found yet another PDA. This one explained that the Aurora was planning to investigate the disappearance of a Mongolian vessel called the Degassi. I continued on and found myself in the drive room, where I found a Cyclops energy efficiency module and the compromised nuclear something rathers. I don't know what they're called, but I repaired them as best I could, and once done, the radiation levels immediately began to drop, which was great news as it meant I'd be able to take off my radiation suit and wear some of my other suits instead.
Seamoth Depth Module Mark 1. Nice.
In this big storage area, I found this Cyclops engine fragment, unlocking the blueprint, but that's just one part of what appears to be a full-blown submarine. And with that, I was done exploring the Aurora wreck.
I have something to upgrade my Seamoth after all this time.
This thing has 4 upgrade module slots, so I chucked the depth module in there, which increased the maximum depth possible to 300. And I also added this storage module I'd found.
Oh, here we go, storage. Well, 16 slots isn't bad, you know. That's very handy.
I haven't touched on it much, but inventory management is definitely a bit of a pain early on in this game, so the extra slots were a godsend.
Approximately 150 meters northwest. That way.
I successfully found the pod and earned myself a creature decoy blueprint.
I've retrieved a data box with the creature decoy and enough resources to fabricate a couple of them. The swim's longer than the decoy lifetime, but it should just be enough to keep them busy. If you don't find me on board the ship, presume I miscalculated.
I didn't find that bloke on the ship, so I presume he miscalculated and became a delicious morsel for some sea monster. As I headed back to the Red Noodle base, I reflected on the nature of this game.
I was kind of intense, man. This game is like, it's not a horror game. It's like an action-adventure crafting survival game, right? But then there are some strong horror elements that make me poop my pants. Just like being underwater.
I docked the Seamoth and did all the usual chores of a return home, and I placed some decorations.
Yeah, we're livening up the place, man.
It was about time I made a radio receiver in the Red Noodle base, so I placed it here and received a transmission with clues to find Lifeboat 7. But before chasing down that lead, I decided it was time to hit up the Floater Island again. The first time I visited, I barely explored, but after seeing how extensive the journey into the Aurora wreckage was, I felt like I probably missed something. I took my time this go round, scanning some of the plants, and then I spotted something that made the trip back worthwhile.
Oh yeah, there's something up there.
I stumbled around and eventually found my way to this rusty habitat. I grabbed the blueprint for an exterior grow bed, and I pilfered some marble melons and Chinese potatoes.
Multi-purpose room, finally.
Scanning this also earned me a bunch of large room blueprints. Inside, I found a bunch of voice logs, as well as one of the aliens' purple tablets. These logs were from 3 of the Degassi crew, so this was the bunch that the Aurora was supposed to keep an eye out for. As I climbed the hill to the habitat, I spotted another habitat on the other hill, and once atop, I found myself the observatory blueprint and the start of the Degassi crew's story on this island.
This island is a godsend. Look out of the window. No predators. Fresh food.
No building materials, nothing left of the ship, and your kid says we're gonna starve without more grow beds. Speak up, kid.
It's true, Father. The natural growth rates are too slow to keep supporting us.
I wandered over to the other hilltop, where I found the indoor grow bed blueprint and this voice log from Bart, detailing the end of the Degassi crew's time on this planet.
We should never have left this place. We shouldn't have gone so deep. They do not want us down there. Despite my best efforts, ill health is taking hold of me. The visions are getting worse. Marguerite and Father are now part of the ecosystem of this incredible planet. It's reassuring to know that when I go, I'll join them. Until then, well, there's always the view.
Alright, well, sounds like it didn't end well for them.
In this random cave, I found a final voice log, and this one was a fiery exchange between Paul and Marguerite, discussing leaving the island behind and creating a habitat 250 meters under the ocean. It included coordinates, so I now had yet another lead to follow. When I arrived back at the Red Noodle base, I extended out the hallways and placed down a multi-purpose room. So much room for activities. I placed down an indoor grow bed, in which I planted a lantern tree, Chinese potatoes, a bulbo tree, and some marble melons. And just like that, I had a nice little garden growing. I struck out again on day 35, and this time I was off to the other island. I needed diamonds to craft a prawn suit, and the only place I'd seen diamonds was on this island.
Alien Zappy machine. Alien Zappy machine.
Up this path, I found an entire cave network within the mountain itself, and I was rewarded with a great many diamonds.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There was also a bunch of lithium, which I was happy to grab as well. I filled my bags pretty quickly, so I had to start dropping lithium in order to fit in all the diamonds. And I found one of these alien arch thingers, but this one had a console at the front of it.
You can insert an ion cube. Interesting. In that case, I think I go back.
And so that's what I did. I zoomed all the way back to base, dumped my bag of goodies, and checked on my plants, some of which were now fully grown. Finally, having some diamonds meant I could make a modification station, so I placed it in the moon pool. And I moved my fabricator and radio too, as I decided my crafting hub might as well be right next to where my vehicle docks. The modification station does exactly that. It modifies. And so I used it to upgrade my knife into a thermal blade, my oxygen tank to ultra high capacity, which increased O2 capacity by 90 to a total of 225, and my fins to ultra glide so I can swim a little faster. With that upgrading session complete, I seamothed all the way back 1.5 k's to the Zappy Machine Island, where I picked up where I left off.
Let's give this a try, huh? Well, that's a portal of some kind.
Astutely observed, and so in I went, and found myself in an unfamiliar cave.
I'm 2,000 meters away from my Seamoth. Wait a minute. Is this the... This is the island with the rendezvous point. Oh.
I was back at the Floater Island with the Degassi habitats I visited a few days ago, and I didn't really think that portal was going to be particularly useful, but it was cool nonetheless. I headed back through and had another session hoovering up all the diamonds and lithium in these caves, and I headed home once I had a bag full. I had a nice healthy meal of 8 lantern fruit, made myself a medkit fabricator, and then headed out to do something scary. I was heading a little bit deeper than I'd ever been before.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, we found it. Glowy mushrooms. Kinda cool. There's big eels there. Kind of terrifying.
And the iPad lady wasn't helping.
The conditions in this cave support a microcosm of unique, possibly predatory life forms.
The area next to this habitat seemed relatively safe though, so I got to scanning.
Oh, that eel is coming disturbingly close.
Inside, I found a bunch of stingy danglies and a voice log from Bart.
I thought it might get claustrophobic living underwater. Father feels it is. He'd tell me it was childish, but I stare out the window and sometimes I think how lucky I am to see this world up close.
Bart has a point. The environments in this game are stunning. And I found a second voice log from the young bloke, and a Degassi log too. I returned to the Seamoth to catch my breath and listen to the voice logs. Bart's second one detailed how much of a gangster Marguerite is, as she apparently went toe-to-toe with some stalkers and stole their teeth. And the Degassi log was intriguing.
If rescue arrives, whatever shot us down, it's gonna do it again and again until it's shut off. You see an off switch around here, Chief?
Why would it any more likely be half a kilometer down?
Your kid found something on the scanner. There's something down there. Something that shouldn't be.
You're mad.
I'm going all the same, and I've an idea you two are gonna follow. But if you do, be mindful. Your authority stopped at sea level.
So Marguerite had the same idea as me. We need to shut off the weapon if we're to have any chance of leaving this world. And apparently she headed off even deeper in an attempt to achieve this. I didn't receive specific coordinates this time, however. I just knew their third base must be about 500 meters deep. I found my first magnetite, a juicy find as a fair few recipes make use of this, and I found some more signs of the Degassi trio's presence here. By the way, I was wearing my water reclaiming suit at this point, so I occasionally received these little urine sachets, which was quite convenient for keeping up my fluids. I found yet more evidence of the time the Degassi folks spent down here, and...
What is that? Oh, that looks geothermal heat. Whoa.
Fortunately, steering wide of the jelly shrooms seemed to leave me beneath the notice of the scary eel things, so I made my way around safely, and once I'd explored the area and filled my bags with magnetite, I took my leave. And I'd navigated the length of the jelly shroom caves all the way to an exit quite close to the red noodle base, so that was handy. I made use of some magnetite to upgrade my propulsion cannon into a repulsion cannon, and it didn't seem to be very effective on this sand shark. I was getting low on titanium because it's used in almost all blueprints, so I set the scanner to look for metal salvage and headed out collecting. I then expanded my storage by adding some lockers in the moon pool. I then murdered a stalker because I wanted to prove I was awesome like Marguerite, except I didn't seem to get a tooth drop.
Give me your teeth. How do I get its teeth?
Having failed to get a tooth, I moved on to the next order of business, attempting to find Life Pod 7. The clue I had was that it was about a kilometer southwest of the Aurora's stern, so I headed to the back of the crash site to begin my search.
Oh crap. So I'm just gonna go southwest from here.
I zoomed forth, confident I'd evaded that terrifying Leviathan yet again, which was good.
Oh my gosh. Am I dead? What do I do? Oh my gosh. Oh my lord. Why you gotta do me like that? My Seamoth just disappeared. That scared the crap out of me. Far out.
Oh man, just watching that back writing this script sent my heart rate through the roof. Holy moly. RIP Seamoth and all its upgrades. Losing the upgrades was actually the worst part, as I had no way of replacing them at this point. And by the way, I was kicking myself for forgetting to bring a creature decoy with me, because if I deployed one of those, maybe it would have distracted the big boy and saved my Seamoth. I managed to glide safely back to base, and apparently I'd searched for salt in the scanner before I left, so I collected a bunch on the way. When I got home, I deployed my mobile vehicle station and created Seamoth number 2.
There's a replacement Seamoth, but how do I make the attachments? Oh, it's so sad.
I decided it would be smart to investigate the interior of some wrecks, as I hadn't revisited any with my laser cutter except one. Ultimately, I was looking for stuff to make exploring new biomes less terrifying. I actually used a repair tool to get myself deeper into this wreck, wherein I found nothing new unfortunately, but I did find this extremely useful data. But on day 42, I had more luck over in the other red noodle biome.
Vehicle upgrade console. Yes. Alright, now how do I get out of here? Get out of my way.
And when I returned to base, I added the console to my moon pool.
Seamoth docked, fully charged. Nice. Oh, I can change the color of it now. SS Drongo. Does it say? The The SS Strongo.
I could now make a bunch of upgrade modules too, for both the Seamoth and the Prawn. I gathered materials and made myself 2 storage modules, a depth module so I can go down to 300 meters again, and this perimeter defense system took my fancy.
Ooh, that could be good. Can I make polyaniline? Hydrochloric acid. Deep shroom. Have I ever found a deep shroom?
No, I had not, and I'm pretty sure I'd never gone deep enough to even find one. So I headed out searching. I checked these nearby trenches but could only find acid shrooms. I tried some nearby caves too, but it was the same again. And so I figured I needed to venture out into deeper as yet unexplored biomes.
What is this nonsense? Alien vent.
Leviathan class, life forms in the region. Are you certain whatever you're doing is worth it?
Okay. No.
I'll explore some deeper biomes, no worries. Just not that one, okay? I continued the search and ended up over this way with these pointy skyward pokers. And when I saw this big trench, I felt it looked both promising and terrifying.
Oh, what's this? What is this place?
Before descending, I headed back to the very start of it, which was actually pretty close to my base, and I steeled my nerves and headed down into the gloom.
Wait a minute. Is this Ruby? Oh, yes. I definitely need to try explore this place. I'm so afraid of new biomes. What if there are scary monsters?
I picked up some of this blood oil, another new material, and then the iPad lady said something very comforting.
This ecological biome matches 7 of the 9 preconditions for stimulating terror in humans.
Oh. Poopy poopy pants pants? Bro, I'm so scared. Oh. Look.
Bravery has its reward. Deep shrooms. I knifed these ones and earned myself a bunch of seeds.
Oh, it exploded. Alright, well, I can plant a whole bunch now.
And I picked this patch, as well as a few more blood oil, and with that, it was time to flee. The irony is I didn't actually see anything scary down there, although it was definitely creepy, and I didn't go as deep as I could have. I was able to fabricate benzene from the blood oil, so that was good to know, and I combined 3 deep shrooms with salt to create hydrochloric acid, which I mixed with gold to make polyaniline. And with this, I made my Seamoth perimeter defense module.
Now, maybe I don't get eaten by anything.
I made one of these foundations and placed 2 exterior grow beds on it, in which I planted all the deep shroom seeds. I then took to Google to solve the stalker tooth mystery, because I wanted enameled glass.
Okay, so I've Googled how to get stalker teeth. Apparently you just drop stuff for them to grab.
So I dropped some metal salvage for them to grab, and grab they did.
Oh, I think there's one. Yeah, let's go.
Over here, there was evidence of serious stalker dental problems, with teeth galore. Once I'd collected a bunch, I returned home and made some enameled glass, as well as a plasteel ingot out of a titanium ingot and lithium.
And upgrade time, baby. Mark II.
And with that, the SS Strongo's new max depth was 500 meters. My deep shrooms had grown, so I harvested some and whacked others for a replant, and I did some indoor gardening too, including creating this wall-mounted locker to hold seeds. These lockers are less enormous, less ugly, and you can label them, so I was kind of wishing I'd been using these instead of the other ones. They do hold less, but they take up less physical space. Oh well, you live and you learn the intricacies of locker pros and cons. I made some more beacons as well as my first creature decoys, so hopefully I'll be able to use these as a distraction next time a big fish bites my face off. And my next quest was to make a prawn suit, but I needed aerogel, and to make that I needed both rubies and gel sacks. I revisited this wreck on the way, laser cutting in this time.
Reinforced dive suit. Okay. Rated for temperatures up to 70 degrees, okay.
I headed towards Lifepod 19, which I visited earlier at a depth of 300 meters, but I hadn't really looked around last time because I was too scared.
Oh yeah, gel sack. Alright, nice. Now I can plant some of those near my base.
I took my time collecting, and when I was full up, I dropped a beacon so I'd know where to find rubies and gel sacks in future. And I found some random wreckage here, including a prawn suit torpedo arm fragment, which scored me the blueprint. I planted some gel sacks.
Nice. Alright, feels good.
And I got to crafting.
Now that I have rubies and gel sacks, I can make the aerogel. And obviously I've got rubies available. Everything else I could already make. Suddenly I can upgrade a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, where does this let me go? 900 meters now. Woo!
900 meters is honestly deeper than I'd ever want to go, but I guess I'll have to force myself when the moment comes. And as you can see by the stuff I have pinned over here, there were a few more crafting projects on the menu. Next was a power cell charger, and it was chunkier than I'd expected. Then the water filtration system, which took up a whole wall. This will take seawater from outside, filter it, and output pure water and salt. Next I made use of that benzene to make synthetic fibers, which helped me craft the reinforced dive suit, which is pretty much the late game suit for deep diving shenanigans down where it's hot and dangerous. And then, the moment I'd been dreaming of.
Prawn suit.
It is normal when first piloting a prawn suit to feel a sense of limitless power. Prawn operators receive weeks of training to counteract this phenomenon. You will have to make do with self-discipline.
Okay. I'll allow it. Where'd it go?
This reefback was trying to steal it, but I was too quick.
Okay, so it's... Whoa! Punch. 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 This is so sick. Get... Oh, did I pick him up? Enter prawn power cell. It's got 2 power cells. Oh, it's got storage. Oh, I see. And can I dock with you?
You can indeed dock the prawn suit in the moon pool.
Jet upgrade. How do I get crystalline sulfur and nickel ore? Depth module, I need nickel ore again. Kyanite, I don't know how to get any of those things.
So I had some new materials to track down in order to max this thing's potential, but for the time being I settled with crafting a torpedo arm.
Shrimpy McSlap. Shrimpy McSlap over here. Okay, I got 2 torpedo arms on Shrimpy McSlap. Good news.
I made some vortex torpedoes out of titanium and magnetite and loaded them into the torpedo bays.
Oh, I just accidentally shot it. Oh, it's sucking stuff in. It's sucking all the fish in. I'm afraid I don't really have a good use for this.
Shrimpy McSlap is not the greatest over long distances, so I left him sitting here for the time being. But don't worry, he comes back with a vengeance later on in the run. After all that crafting, I had like 3 titanium left over, so I fired up the scanner room and struck out in search of limestone chunks. And as you can see, between the water filtering, battery charging, and crafting rampage, my power had completely run flat. Once sunlight had returned, the power turned back on, and I fabricated a couple of plasteel ingots.
So what does a large room look like? Oh, it's large. As far as rooms go, large rooms are large.
I built the large room adjoining to the multi-purpose room.
Oh, and it's large. Don't let anyone tell you that it's not large. It is large.
Within this room, which is large, I placed a bioreactor, which added 500 max power to the base, and I whacked some Chinese potatoes and a lantern fruit in it. And of course, this will generate during the night, unlike solar panels, so it was indeed a huge upgrade. I placed down another interior grow bed and planted some stuff, just to ensure I had plenty of biomaterial on hand, as the reactor used up them Chinese potatoes pretty quickly. And just when I thought I was done with my extremely long crafting and building rampage, I made a Seamoth torpedo system for good measure. I also finally tested out the perimeter defense module.
Oh, that's kind of cool, you know.
And finally, it was back to adventure, off towards Life Pod 12.
Ooh, this biome's fancy. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a zappy fool. I don't want to fight you. Not any more zap. Oh, there's lots of zappy idiots. I feel like my zappy protection won't work against those guys. I don't know how aggressive they are as well.
I bravely emerged from the SS Strongo for a closer look.
Oh dude, there's a zappy guy right there.
Thanks to these sparky noodles terrifying me, it took me ages to find the entrance to this wreck.
Oh crap. Oh crap. You can't get me. You can't get me. There's no way there's a giant wreck here. You can't even get in at all. Here we go.
Inside I found the Cyclops sonar upgrade and stasis rifle blueprints. And it was quite a mess in there, so it was stressful finding my way around as my O2 levels ticked down. And it definitely triggered a little claustrophobia. I tentatively made my way over to Life Pod 12, and somehow managed to avoid attracting the ire of the electric eels. There were crew logs from the ship doctor who admitted he cheated his medical exam, but he said it had never mattered since robots do all the heavy lifting with medicine these days anyway. Except that doesn't apply when you crash land.
The only thing I studied in medical school was how to lie convincingly. What the hell do I know about how to treat an alien disease?
The moral of the story is, don't get stranded on an alien planet. You thought I was going to say don't cheat on your exams, didn't you? But no, that's fair game, just don't get caught. I headed back towards home, and in this mushroom biome, I made a glorious find.
Cyclops Bridge. Come on. Are there more random pieces of Cyclops around here?
There were indeed, and I spent ages looking because I was keen to get myself a Cyclops. I scoured the biome and found 3 bridge fragments, finishing off the blueprint.
Oh, there's those teleporty guys. Terrifying. Oh, and that's a big boy. That's Elephant. That's one of those freaky ones that got me before. Let's get out of here. Get zapped.
And I found 3 hull fragments, which earned me the full Cyclops blueprint.
I can actually make that. I can make all of these things right now. Glorious.
I first made a stasis rifle.
Where's a victim?
Motivational note. Craig McGill crash-landed in the acid swamps of Boreal 9, fought off arachnid kidney poachers, and hijacked a tame Star War. If he can do all that, you can survive one more day.
That's wonderful inspiration. Okay, so that's what this thing does. That's pretty cool.
I then did a little collecting, replenishing my lubricant supply, and once again hunting down titanium as I needed 30 for the Cyclops. I made some more storage modules so I could have a max storage Seamoth for these collecting expeditions. By the way, by this point, the hallway lockers were like a deep storage for materials I had heaps of, and the moon pool lockers had a bit of everything at hand for crafting. On day 55, I made another scanner room, because I figured it would make my collecting expeditions more efficient if I could scan for 2 things at once. I searched both limestone and sandstone chunks and went nuts. This topped up my dwindling gold and silver supplies, as well as titanium, copper, and lead. And after that rather long period of prep, it was finally time.
Ready?
Be advised, the Cyclops is designed to be operated by a 3-person crew. Only experienced helmspeople should attempt to pilot this vehicle.
That's huge! Holy moly. Holy flippadooly. Unbelievable. Come on, flop into the water. Splash. That was an underwhelming splash. Look at this thing. It's monstrous. Board Cyclops.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
There was a spot to fabricate upgrade modules. There were 3 power cells on each side of the engine. Above the upgrade console, I discovered the Cyclops has 1500 health and 1200 energy. There was a spot to insert creature decoys, a spot to dock a vehicle, light controls, a full 3D holographic of the hull's condition and current health.
The Chonky Zoomer. I think that's a good name. Alright, what's down here?
Down here was a bunch of inbuilt storage. At the helm, I discovered there were 3 external cameras available to me. I had a radar thingo scanning the immediate area. There were meters for hull health and noise levels. And once I turned the engine on, I found there were 3 speed settings. And at the top, the current battery life, current depth, and max depth was displayed. And that's the guided tour, I guess, and I hope you're as hyped as I was. I spent some time getting used to the controls, and it was a great success.
Oh, I literally ran into my base. Look at this thing. Can I put Shrimpy McSlap in here? Yeah, I made it. Okay, so I can dock my prawn in it.
I experimented with the habitat builder and was pleased to discover you can build stuff in here. But my one problem was the blueprint for a depth module was as yet undiscovered. So for now, I was limited at 500 meters. And the destinations I had in mind were deeper than that. I filled out my large room with 3 more bioreactors because I knew I was going to be charging lots of Cyclops power cells in future. So I figured I'd better up my power levels. I also placed a couple more grow beds. I then decided it was time to attempt to track down Lifepod 7 again. The last time I tried, my Seamoth got eaten by a big boy scary fish, but this time I had defensive measures, so I was feeling more positive.
My ships have the stupidest names.
I opted to leave behind the Chonky Zoomer for now, as I didn't really want to use it until I'd upgraded and kitted it out properly. I headed vaguely southwest of the Aurora crash site and thankfully didn't see any rage monsters, but I did see some big balls, and this wreck that gave me some very juicy blueprints. The depth module for the Cyclops I've been dreaming of, and the prawn suit drill arm.
Membrane tree. Get it? Because it kind of looks like a brain.
And inside the wreck, through a couple of dodgy doors I had to laser cut, I found a prawn suit grappling arm fragment and the blueprint for a Cyclops docking repair module.
Okay. I'm so scared, dude. I hate going into new zones. We found it. Get zapped. Toy car? Let's go. Oh, I'm a... What? An unusual doll. What? Oh, great cap as well.
So that was a randomly delightful find.
Some knickknacks? Why not?
I made a prawn suit drill arm and placed a bulkhead here, which I thought was pretty cool.
Who's this guy supposed to be? I have no idea. What?
Oh, God! Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier, and welcome back to Subnautica.
Oh, it's Markiplier. I guess I see the resemblance. I guess Markiplier did a playthrough of this game and pooped his pants, no doubt.
I then placed a couple more exterior grow beds and filled them with gel sacks because I'd done some research on the old wiki regarding bioreactor fuel.
And it turns out a gel sack actually has more energy in it than the lantern fruit, even though the lantern fruit takes 4 slots.
So basically filling this with gel sacks will yield more than 4 times the power, meaning I won't have to refill the bioreactors anywhere near as often. In light of this, I got rid of these 2 interior grow beds since I didn't really need them. I then had another play with the prawn suit.
See you later, nerd.
I prepped a bunch of materials to take up to the Chonky Zoomer, where I crafted the depth module Mark 1, increasing the max depth to 900 meters, as well as the sonar upgrade, which does this. I then decided it was time to hunt down the next alien location, and the clue I had for the disease facility was that it was southwest of the enforcement platform at a depth of 800 meters. I hoped I'd find stuff like nickel and sulfur crystals on this journey, with which I could upgrade the Cyclops and prawn suit a bit more. But lacking those upgrades, I thought I'd once again head out in the SS Strongo.
I don't think I've been here before. This is directly southwest.
I cautiously began my descent and found the bottom at about 470 meters below sea level. It was full of these shark idiots, thermal vents, and uranium nodes. I searched the area for a cave down, harried by the bitey boys all the while, but I found no passage, so I dropped a beacon and headed out.
Oh, one of you. You wanna get zapped?
As you can see, I was much cockier now that I had my zappy defense system. Since I was out this way, I figured I might as well try grab more lithium from the island's caves, so I grabbed the few that hadn't fit in my bags the last time I was here.
If I kill these things, are they dead forever?
I then shot a bunch of stasis orbs at it, from a brave distance of course, but it didn't seem bothered, so the experiment where I fight the demon fish was put on pause. I struck out southwest again, and this time investigated some of the floater islands. This one had a big chunk of wreckage on it.
Can I kill you? I can. Take that, you annoying butthead. Bone shark.
On top of mightily defeating that diseased bone shark, I also found the Cyclops fire suppression module blueprint, swim charge fins blueprint, and prawn suit propulsion cannon blueprint. I went inside this floaty island, which was pretty cool.
Oh, what's this? Oh, maybe. Oh, what the? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Nah. That's Mars attacks. Something out of Mars Attacks. I don't appreciate that. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. What was that?
I snuck out to grab some blood oil because I need it for more benzene, and I cautiously explored the biome, ensuring I stayed clear of the brain crab weirdos.
Those things are so weird, dude. Why? Why is that a thing?
Local scans show a nearby opening, leading to a biome with extensive fossilized remains.
Ooh, what is that? Oh man, those look cool though. Translucent.
I'd quickly left behind the blood oil biome and its brain crabs, and I was now in a cave, already 600 meters deep. I hugged this left wall and took my time, doing my best to go unnoticed in these strange waters. And somehow, without incident, I found a way deeper.
Oh, I'm so scared. We're getting down to the level where the research facility is supposed to be.
This cavernous area had some very impressive skeletal remains.
That's the way back out. That's a pretty tree. There's some alien pylons here. Follow the pylons. I found it. Okay. Good news.
This alien structure appears to have collapsed to the sea floor.
You don't say.
There were some of the warpy fellas, but I wasn't too worried thanks to my defensive zaps. And eventually I found a way into the abandoned alien structure. I immediately made an upsetting realization.
Oh, I didn't bring a purple tablet. I'm so stupid. No. If I have to come back here, I'll cry. Please tell me there's a freebie somewhere around here.
There were no freebie alien tablets, sadly, so I was indeed going to have to revisit this facility. As you can tell, I was stressed and spooked, but overall it was good news that I managed to find my way this deep. It appeared the aliens had been researching intently, with sea dragon leviathans as a focus. This damage report revealed that the facility was attacked by a leviathan.
314 specimens destroyed, 1 specimen unaccounted for. Oh no, there's gonna be one giant dragon leviathan that hatched. That's what's going to happen, isn't it?
Residual biological evidence suggests indigenous life forms were brought to this location and subjected to intensive study. Data pertaining to the bacterium is being downloaded. Caution. Detecting atypical fluctuations in blood plasma proteins. A self-scan is strongly advised.
So I got to do a self-scan?
Self-scan complete. Bacterial infection has spread to the skin and pulmonary system. Medical report recorded to databank. It is imperative you find a way to neutralize the infection.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'm looking spicy. That's not good. Alright, so this disease that I've got has killed 143 billion individuals. Holy dooly.
And clearly they were trying to understand the disease and working on a treatment or a vaccine.
I guess I just gotta go get a purple tablet and come all the way back. which is very frustrating.
I hadn't brought enough beacons either, so I was unable to leave a marker for my return. But as I carefully made my way out, I took stock of the location to ensure I'd be able to find it again.
Literally north, 1.3 k's north of my base. What's all this nonsense?
This nonsense was a wreck that yielded me precisely nothing useful. I returned to the Red Noodle base and did the usual chores of battery charging, grow bed tending, and bioreactor filling. I also collected acid mushrooms and planted them in these grow beds, as these are useful to make batteries. And I needed heaps of batteries to make more power cells to use as spares for the Cyclops. And with that, I could procrastinate no longer. And off I went, this time in the Cyclops. I dropped down in the prawn suit to drill my first resource node, and this earned me 14 gold ore, which was very juicy.
But I just realized I forgot, like, literally everything.
As I turned the sub around, a beeping noise and some red dots on the interface warned me of collision risks, which was cool. And I returned to the base for Cyclops prep too. I made a bunch of beacons and creature decoys, I ferried some more materials up, and I placed a fabricator on the wall, which is quite glorious as it of course meant I could now craft stuff on the go. And honestly, I was still underprepared, but I thought I was good to go, so go I did. I headed to that spot with all the uranium first, and I gotta tell you, I was struggling piloting this big chonker. It's just really hard to see and kind of impossible to know when you're gonna hit stuff until you get used to it, and I was not used to it. I got there eventually though, and drilled some silver, played with the locals.
I'll punch you in the face. Can I drill you? I can drill them. Leave me alone.
And collected some uraninite crystals too. I placed a bunch of lockers in the Chonky Zuma to accommodate my resource gathering, and headed on my way.
Oh. What is that? What is attacking me? Oh, is it you? I don't think it did any damage, or whatever damage it did recharged.
The first 300 health does indeed recharge, but if the health gets below 1200, the hull begins taking serious damage.
Run!
The predators here didn't seem to be a huge threat to the Cyclops, but I was struggling to find the cave from earlier. And when I say struggling, I mean really struggling.
Warning, entering ecological dead zone. Adding report to databank.
I think that just means I'm literally going off the edge of the map. Oh, I'm so lost. How do I navigate in this thing? Oh, dude, what is that? What is that? What is that? How do I get back? Just go back towards the uranium chunks. Did you see that? Okay, it got bored of me pretty quick.
So there's a lesson for you. Don't go out into the dead crater area. I continued my search, using sonar to try and find the Flamen Cave into the depths.
I legitimately can't see. That's my problem. Okay, is this it? I think I found the way. Yes, I found the way down. I don't even care about you. I think I'm not too scared of attack, because I'm very durable in this.
What an arrogant thing for me to say.
Oh, there's a big boy. I don't remember seeing you. Get out of my way. Okay, that did damage to me. Where am I going? Stop. Stop. I can't control myself. I'm so confused. Oh no. Oh no. What is going on? I can't drive this thing. I'm so bad, dude.
Fortunately, shutting down the engine seemed to cause that scary translucent fella to lose interest, but my piloting skills were simply not up to scruff for the tight areas down in this cave. And of course, as soon as I fired up the engines again,
this idiot's still right there. Go get my decoy, you loser.
The creature decoy worked a treat, and I managed to noodle myself a little distance away. By the way, I literally never saw that Leviathan the first time I came this way, so sneaky was my passage. But there ain't no sneaking in this Chonky Zuma, at least with my incompetent hands at the helm. I snuck out and repaired the hull damage, but I was a little stressed.
I should have brought way more spare batteries. I'm so underprepared. I didn't think it would be this hard.
I tried continuing with the engine on its quietest setting, and these glowy trees were quite annoying.
You noticed me? Did you notice me or not? Can he not get me because of the... the hell's going on? That's a juvenile? No, you don't. You can't get me. How is that a juvenile? Well, that was one of the bravest things I've ever done. Sucks for you that there's a tree in the way, you loser. This is awkward.
After turning the engine off, the ghost Leviathan finally left me alone. I replaced some of the power cells and made a dash back to the start of the cave, using a creature decoy to get the ghosty off my back. By the way, I should mention I started to lose track of the exact day around this point. A lot of the remainder of this run is in the deep dark where time loses all meaning, so consider the day count as somewhat of a loose estimate. It'll be close enough, and it doesn't affect the story at all, so no big deal. Anyway, on day 70-ish, I managed to shakily maneuver the Chonky Zuma over here, and I'm proud to say I only bumped into walls and trees about 300 300 times. And this corner was out of the way enough that I decided to venture out in the prawn suit.
Get out of here.
And I found something intriguing. The aliens had somehow removed the water from this cave area and placed one of the teleportation arches down here.
Oh. What? Since when does that hurt me? What is that? I can scan it. Crystalline sulfur. Nice, I need that for something. This fancy thing here blocks out the water. Oh! What are you doing? That's not legal. What the heck was that? You can't swim into air, you rat.
I headed back out and began collecting more crystalline sulfur.
Are you trying to get me, bro? Seems like you are. You attacking my ship? Oh, crap. Yeah, what now?
I repeated this process several times, slashing at the beast more than 100 times, and I eventually realized that the stasis gun wasn't even necessary because at some point he'd gotten stuck, swimming into the wall like a goose on the loose.
Okay, so I've just googled, and you can kill them. You can kill them, and they don't respawn. Great news. If he unstucks and turns around and kills me, I will cry. Yes! Yes! Ah! Now this guy's gonna kill me. Run! Crap. Oh my gosh. Okay, finally.
The relief was palpable. I was so happy. The tension had left my body. I had nothing left to fear in this area, and I'd killed a leviathan. A leviathan that literally bugged into a wall for 5 minutes, but still, it's a wonderful victory.
Nickel. Yes.
I was happy to find some titanium chunks too, as you can never have too much titanium. I admired this big skull and collected up a storm. Since the expedition had taken slightly longer than anticipated, I was actually running low on food at this point, so I was relieved to find some gel sacks. These restored Omega 5 hunger and 4 thirst, but I was able to collect enough to keep me going.
This game is so good.
Since I could just dump stuff in the submarine, I spent a long time collecting, before placing a beacon to ensure I could find my way back more easily next time. And without the pressure of a massive ghost demon harassing me, I was able to find the cave down. By this point, I was finally half decent at piloting the Cyclops, so that helped too. I placed another beacon at this cave mouth, and I found some spinefish, so I had even more food to keep me going.
We actually made it back. I can't believe it. After so many fails.
In I went. I placed another beacon. I was big on the beacons by this point because I was sick of getting lost, and I gained entry to this data terminal with my big purple tablet.
Alright, so the big boy Sea Emperor of Leviathan was researched at 1.4k depth in a volcanic region. I need to find that, and he showed signs of potential immunity. There might be data there that I can grab to learn how to make a vaccine or something.
I placed a modification station in the Cyclops and used it plus some of that nickel I found to upgrade the depth module, which increased the max depth to 1300 meters. I collected some more materials and began setting up a base, using a thermal plant on this tiny volcano and one of these power connection things to power up the room. The key reason I wanted a base here was to make power cell charges with which to recharge my Cyclops, but I soon realized I needed deep shrooms. I had none and couldn't seem to find any, so I decided to head back to the surface.
Chunky, skelly base.
But before I left, I couldn't resist having a look at this beautiful tree.
Oh, there's deep shrooms. There's like a billion deep shrooms, like literally a billion deep shrooms here.
I filled up another grow bed with them. I then remembered I had another Degassi base to find, at about 500 meters deep, and so I decided to head back anyway.
Next time, if I come back this way, which I guess I will when I want to explore deep again, I can set up the base properly.
I of course got distracted collecting a bunch of materials on the way, but on day 77 I made my triumphant return to the Red Noodle base. I had a radio message waiting for me from LifePod 2, and I received their last known coordinates. I crafted a bunch more power cells, the prawn suit jet upgrade, which simply made the jets about twice as powerful, and I also crafted the prawn suit depth module upgrade. For the Cyclops, I crafted the fire suppression, docking repair, energy efficiency, and decoy tube upgrades.
Oh, the efficiency is 3 times better. That is huge. And that means I can fit 5 in here now instead of 1. That's huge as well.
I also waxed down a grow bed and planted some lantern trees and marble melons, which solved my food and drink woes for the rest of the run. Next on the list was to improve the charging capacity of my base by adding a couple more power cell charges. And with that, I'd massively upgraded the Red Noodle base, Shrimpy McSlap, and the Chonky Zoomer. Wonderful news. I moved a bunch of materials into the Cyclops too, as I figured I might as well stock it to the brim.
Alright, a second drill arm for the prawn suit, so when I'm collecting working. I can whack it on and collect twice as fast. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, there's the fire suppression system. I can actually press it. Cool, cool.
I finally headed out, and I must admit I had no idea where the third Degasi base was, so I resorted to checking the wiki and learned it was somewhere right below the floater island where their first base is, which I guess makes sense if you follow the clues properly, unlike me.
Oh, what are those? What are those? They're chilling on the floor. You reckon they're dangerous?
I stopped by a wreck and I had precisely one thing I was after.
Grappling arm, let's go. Very good news.
I continued searching, and the wiki had told me this was the right area, but it didn't seem to be helping much as I couldn't find a cave through which to go deeper to save my life. I did say hello to these nice fellas at least, and then I finally found a way down.
Also, are there enemies down here? Oh crap. What are you? Leave me alone, you weirdo. I don't think they do much damage. There's another one there as well. Oh, there's the base.
I cautiously emerged and snuck my way into the abandoned habitat. There are a few logs that I picked up, but I'll just play you this one as I think it sums things up nicely.
Came out of nowhere. An alien kraken, bigger than a cyclops.
Bigger than a cyclops?
Clear through the reinforced hull.
Oh my gosh.
Barely got my breather in time. I told her. I said others would come. The last I saw her, she had the metal lodged in its neck as the monster did its best to shake her, contorting off into the darkness.
So these guys got cleaned up by the Sea Emperor Leviathan, it sounds like. Probably the one that got loose from that alien facility. Bart was the only survivor, and as we learned about 50 days ago, he made it back up to the island where the disease slowly claimed his life. A tragic tale, but at least this intrepid trio earned me some good intel. The alien containment, orange alien tablet, and Cyclops shield generator blueprints. I had trouble finding my way back up and out, but I managed to find a way down, which was a surprise, and I figured I might as well follow it since my goal now was to find the next alien facility in the depths. I dropped down in Shrimpy McSlap and had a little explore.
Hey, what's this?
The aliens had clearly been researching this enormous ancient skeleton, and it cost me an orange tablet to enter into their little facility here. Inside, I found a bunch of specimens and 3 ion cubes, as well as a data console offering information about the local fauna's reproductive habits. Apparently, they're all asexual egg layers.
Oh, what is that?
It appeared to be an adult version of the ghost Leviathan I'd killed earlier, and that did not please me. I had a radio message to listen to, so I whacked a radio receiver on the wall.
You reckon? Well, I'm glad I made a radio for that. That was a beautiful message. Look at the big fossil. I can see a massive fossil. I can see ribs and a giant head. Holy dooly. Should I just try and make a break for it through this area?
I opted to sneak by, and I managed to get through unnoticed, although he did patrol rather close, at which point I powered down the engines. And I guess my destruction of this big ghostie's offspring earlier had boosted my confidence, because once my Cyclops was safely through, I swam back to investigate.
Hide in the crevices. You can't get me in the crevices, can you?
I tried to scan this big rib, but it didn't let me, so I returned to the sub for another fun radio broadcast.
Destroyed. Mode. Patrol. New targets unaccounted for. 1.
1 target unaccounted for. Is that referring to like a Leviathan that they're trying to kill, or is that me? Are they trying to kill me?
So that was creepy. I headed back out and collected some goodies.
I don't want to fight it because it's being very stupid right now. I feel like an exploited stupidity. Come on then. I'll punch you. Do you even know I'm here? What are you doing?
And that's how I ended up in an epic battle with this ghost Leviathan. I took refuge in this enormous skull, and whenever the ghost swam off to recuperate, I hopped out and repaired my prawn suit. At one point, he got stuck in the skull with me.
You're dead, mate. You're so dead.
The battle raged on, and eventually I emerged from my hiding spot to chase him down. And when he ran off after this engagement, he never came back. He just disappeared.
He disappeared? I swear he's gone.
And so I took that as my second glorious victory of this playthrough. I continued exploring and collecting in Shrimpy McSlap, and when I was done, I left a beacon.
Huge ribs plus coward worm. There we go. Can't go wrong with that. I'll know exactly what that's referring to. And we just ran off. What a sad worm. Alright, anyway, let's keep going.
I followed the passage through and found I'd arrived at my makeshift base. And I decided I'd try and explore in search of a way down deeper. I didn't have to look far.
Okay. Well, I found something.
Just past the pretty tree, I found this deep, deep hole. I descended said deep, deep hole and found myself below 1,000 meters. That is deep, deep. I couldn't really see what the heck was going on, but there was lava present.
That weirdo. He's like, are you on my ship? That's not on. Get off.
What are you doing?
Go away, Caterpie, you dingus.
Just about the only thing I could see was a great many lava larvae clinging to the chunky zoomer.
They're not sucking electricity out of it, are they?
They in fact were. This offended me greatly, so I emerged and drilled them all into oblivion. And I stabbed some too. But they were sucking a fair bit of battery life, and they were relentless. So I fled back upwards as I was paranoid about running out of batteries and getting stranded. Once up, I decided to explore in the one remaining direction I hadn't checked yet. It turned out to be not much, except for another way to the surface. Deep hole entrance number 3. It was kind of pretty with all the blue lights. I was now satisfied I'd explored the entire area down here, and the last frontier was back down with the lava larvae. But for now, I wanted to establish a proper base where I could charge my power cells. I decided to rip all this down and move it over near the pretty tree, and I also placed a bioreactor inside, because I wanted to set up 3 power cell charges, so I knew I needed more power than just 2 thermal plants. And I attached a moon pool. This moon pool was the dumbest idea ever. Firstly, I somehow totally forgot about the need for hull strength, so the damn thing started flooding. Secondly, it wasn't high enough off the floor, and Shrimpy McSlap got his silly fat head stuck.
A prawn suit. Oh.
And I think I saved the game via muscle memory without realizing, because my save file loaded up with me stuck in my prawn suit, as in I literally had to use the unstuck tool to get free. What a silly willy. I spent a long time trying to free Shrimpy McSlap from his moon pool prison. I tried deconstructing the moon pool, but it wouldn't let me because guess what? A prawn suit was in the way. I tried shooting my repulsion cannon at it, and no luck. I even tried ramming my Cyclops into it, but all that achieved was the dumbest bug ever.
What happened? What? What? Why did all my lockers go flying everywhere?
So I obviously reloaded back to the save before my lockers were strewn across the universe. I made the upgrade bay in the flooded moon pool, where I crafted the grappling arm, and I tried to use that to get myself free.
Can I grapple to you? Pull me out. Oh no, I'm pulling you closer. Sorry, this is abuse. Pull me out, please. Alright, go on, you translucent weirdo.
Nothing worked, so I left Shrimpy McSlap stuck there like an idiot and headed back to the Red Noodle base. I made a replacement prawn suit.
Sink prawns. Oh crap, he's gonna land on top of my drongo. Shrimpy McDonk. Definitely the son of Shrimpy McSlap, but instead of slapping, he donks. Which we love to see.
And I gave it a grappling arm, which I had some fun testing out. This is definitely a big improvement in maneuverability.
Meanwhile, my base under the ocean has 800 issues with it.
I got rid of my water filtration system to make space for an alien containment. I whacked on a hatch, hopped in and released 2 peepers and dropped 2 eggs that I'd found on my adventures. I experimented with some decorative stuff briefly, but it didn't really grab me as a fun thing to pursue, to be honest, so I didn't bother and instead headed back out.
Cuttlefish egg. A cuttlefish. Oh no. A cuttlefish just hatched, I think. Should I just go back?
Of course I went back. I must see the cuttlefish.
There's 2! Hello. This is the dog of the sea, the cuttlefish. I wonder what these 2 are going to hatch into. What if these hatch into something that eats my cuttlefish?
I decided that wasn't a risk I was willing to take, so I removed those 2 eggs. And after that most welcome diversion, I zoomed off in the direction of my stupid, leaky underwater base.
Oh, you know what? That's a good shout. Alright, what we're going to try and do, give me these. And so now it should crush. Alright, now hopefully if it breaks, it'll no longer be blocking the thing. Look at your father and weep. Weep at his destruction. Shrimpy McSlap is going the way of all creatures. He was a machine, so he thought he would never die, but it's what happens when you get your fat head stuck underneath it. Whatever this thing is, a moon pool. Death by moon pool.
And with a glorious double donk, Shrimpy McDonk finished it.
Oh!
Oh, he exploded. Yes. I tore down the moon pool, which finally got rid of the annoying text telling me my base had 3,000 issues with it.
Rest in peace. You turned white when you died. Your black paint disappeared in death. Shrimpy McSlap. Never forget. Shrimpy. Here. Oh, what? He disappeared. Oh well, I'll leave this beacon here. Here lies Shrimpy McSlap.
Please drop your heartfelt eulogies for Shrimpy McSlap down in the comments below, and no doubt they will bring me to tears. And this is when I finally worked out I could just repair the holes, and the water began to drain. In preparation for my descent, I made the Cyclops shield generator module.
Activate the Cyclops shield system. I just used like 5%. Oh, it's using so much battery.
And I was still paranoid about running out of battery. So I took the depleted cells back to base and put them on to charge again. And while they charged, I collected a bunch of materials. And then I finally descended.
We're going deep into the ocean. There are flappy, translucent weirdos. There's a waterfall in the ocean, which makes no sense. What I'm looking for are blue crystals. I just want blue crystals.
I just needed kyanite, a blue crystal of some description, in order to complete my few remaining vehicle upgrades. And I assumed they must be down here somewhere, so that was my goal. In this first area, I jumped out for a bit for a closer look, but had no luck. I did grab some copper though. I continued on and found myself in this enormous area. It was murky and eerie down here, but I hadn't seen anything too terrifying just yet.
Oh, here we go. I see a crystal of blue. Here we go. Oh. What the hell? What just happened to me? Why did was that an attack? Can I drill this? I think that was a coincidence. As soon as I drilled it, the teleporting idiot teleported me out of my prawn. And I thought the kyanite did it to me, but it wasn't. It was the dingus. So apparently the warpy dudes can teleport you out of your prawn suit, and this particular warpy dude had impeccable timing. I used the kyanite to craft the Cyclops thermal reactor module and the tier 3 depth module. Okay, new depth is 1700 meters.
And with that I was fully upgraded, and since it was quite warm down here with all the lava, the chonky zoomer was gaining charge.
So there's definitely idiots on my ship sucking on it. And yet, the power is going up, so that's good news. And now it's just a matter of exploring. What the heck? How can I hit him through the window?
With all my tech at its best, it was time to try and find the alien thermal power plant, which I knew from clues I'd gathered was at 1200 meters, so it was definitely in this area somewhere.
Oh, what's that? Oh my lord. That is a big boy.
That is the Sea Emperor Leviathan, and if I'm understanding the story correctly, it's the same one that escaped alien containment and the same one that attacked the Degasi underwater base. For my part, I kept my distance. I looked around for a while but couldn't seem to find anything, so I had another peek at my clues.
Thermal power facility, depth 1200, inside an extensive natural rock formation in an area of intense volcanic activity.
That was helpful, but I had other things on my mind. He shot these fireballs in my direction, but they didn't seem to do any damage. I had a little look-see up this big hole, and it turned out to be another entrance to the lava area. And I got attacked by a ghost Leviathan, which was actually quite dramatic, as I had trouble navigating my way back down into the hole. Clearly I was still a pretty dodgy pilot. I had to use 3 creature decoys, and my sub took a fair chunk of damage.
How much damage is he doing? Oh, they're doing a lot. Get down. Go, go, go.
This was by far the worst creature attack I suffered, but by this point I was fairly comfortable in my understanding of how the game worked, so I was far less terrified by this than I was by stuff earlier in the run. You'll be impressed to know I didn't even poop my pants. Just another day in the chonky zoomer, no big deal.
What? Excuse me? What are you doing? How did you find me? Is he stuck? What are you doing, you big frog? Did you see that? He was inside my ship. I just turned my engines off. Go away, please. He wants to be my friend.
Once again, the big whopper somehow did 0 damage to my submarine. So I don't know if something was bugging, but somehow he was less scary now that I knew how much of a doofus he was when it came to actually attacking. But I tried to keep my distance regardless. And honestly, I didn't have much success. The buffhead wouldn't leave me alone.
He's looking at me. Is this guy bugged? Why doesn't he attack me? He's just doing silly willies. He's spurting fire.
I made my way back to this central mound, because based on the clue, it seemed like the power plant was inside a rock formation, and this was the only sizable one in the area.
Okay, I think I found it. This has got to be it, right? Bro, this guy just doesn't care. Why does he not care about me? He's just ignored me at every turn.
I made my way into the Molten Mountain, where I found some kyanite and a lava waterfall. And in the center, the alien power plant. I searched around for an entrance and headed inside. There was an entire clutter of ion cubes for me to drill away at, which was impressive. There was an arch thingo, which I activated, and this one took me straight to the alien enforcement platform. I brought down this force field with a purple tablet and found my first blue tablet.
And I can craft it?
Come here.
Oh! Oh!
To me.
Excuse me? Is it just me, or does that weirdo in the visions look like a dancing caterpillar? I headed down these ramps and found an ion cube and a data terminal revealing some fossil research findings that indicated a mass extinction event occurred on this planet at some point. I used another purple tablet to gain entry to this light show of a room.
What is this nonsense?
I grabbed the data from this terminal and it pointed me in the direction of my final destination.
Southeast of this position. Okay, primary alien facility. Am I like nearly finished the game?
I climbed to the platform above, where I learned to make use of the alien ion cube technology to make more effective batteries and power cells. And that was it, a lovely visit to a lovely thermal power plant. I headed south-southwest in search of the way down to the primary containment facility, and then I realized I was supposed to be going south-southeast, so I course corrected and found this big hole, and then a smaller hole leading into this glorious area.
Oh, it's really lava lakey. Oh. Hello.
I am what you seek. Want to help you.
Okay, help me then.
There seemed to be nothing but these passive manta ray thingos and some warpers, so I confidently made my way into the cavern.
Look at this thing, man. This is like a... Oh, crap.
Engine powering down.
The big fella followed me down, or is there two of them? Eat him. Eat him. Yeah, he followed me down. They scripted that in to make me poop my pants.
The chonky zoomer was quite awkwardly placed right in the middle of the area, and I felt a little bit like a sitting duck.
He's a very handsome frog. Yeah, I'm talking about you, buddy.
I made my move when the Sea Emperor turned his back.
Oh. He's just pushing me. He just pushed me, but he's not damaging me. Gonna push me again? Yeah, I see you. What is life? What is going on?
This guy's huge, by the way. And finally, I managed to park right by the front door.
Bro, he just trumpeted like an absolute madman. Here we are. Whoa! That was aggressive.
Translating local alien broadcast. Warning, vaccine development program terminated. Emperor Egg hatching project terminated. Live specimens terminated. Evacuate immediately.
Alien robot. Ah! Now let me scan you. Hey! Hey! What a rude robot.
This big juicy foyer had a bunch of alien toys which I scanned, some of which suggested that the aliens had meddled with humanity back on Earth throughout history, which sounds accurate. The data from this terminal revealed that the aliens had discovered that the Sea Emperors produce a substance called enzyme 42, which relieves the symptoms of the bacterial infection for the entire ecosystem. They tried to extract the enzyme in order to make a vaccine, but their efforts ultimately failed. Evidence of their failed experiments was in the next room, where I found a Sea Emperor fetus and the egg casing it emerged from. I then checked in the 6 side rooms around the foyer, and in 4 of them I found these arches. I needed an ion cube, so I drilled the ion cube cluster back in the foyer, and once I'd collected them, it fired up to produce some more, which was pretty cool. I used the cubes to activate all 4 teleportation arches, and tested them all out. They of course took me to various spots around the world, so this facility definitely was the hub for all the alien activities on this planet. One of the other 2 rooms was a biological archive, full to the brim with over 40 creature eggs. Quite the collection. And in the 6th room was the explanation as to how enzyme 42 was distributed around the entire ecosystem.
What is this? It's a slippery dip.
This was an elaborate water inflow and outflow system. It's connected to those vents I found scattered around close to the surface.
Enzyme host peepers leaving the containment facility. Peepers come in, get the enzyme, and then they go out.
That explains why peepers are so nutritious and delicious. They carry the healing enzyme and distribute it to the entire ocean.
Yeah, I can see the peepers. They sure are peeping.
And finally, I placed the blue tablet, brought down this force field, and headed through to this big chamber featuring some opaque water, into which I boldly jumped.
Oh! 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 No.
Are you here to play? Others came here once. They built these walls. They played alone. They bored me. Now they're gone. And instead, we have you. We are curious whether you swim with the current or fight against it as they did.
I don't want to swim near you, if that's what you're asking. I can't even get out. This is a badly made pool. Oh, I can get out, never mind.
So I finally found my friend that likes to invade my thoughts, trapped here in the depths of this containment facility.
What do you want me to do? Can I scan you? No? What's this? This looks important. Sea Emperor eggs. Hey, stop looking at me. I didn't bring an ion cube, my bad. Let me go get an ion cube.
I had a couple in the prawn suit, so I quickly grabbed them.
My young need to hatch, to play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others built a passage to reach the world outside. I asked them for this freedom, but they could not hear me. If you help us, I will give you freely what the others tried in vain to take.
Okay. Well, that's ironic. Where do I get the hatching enzymes? What am I supposed to do? Whoa! Wait, there's no need for that. Be free.
With the passage you have opened, my young can leave this place. But first they must feel the time is right and break free of their shells. This is what the others could not force from me. To you, I give the secret willingly.
New blueprint acquired.
So this lovely lady was my savior, and all I had to do to receive healing was help her with her 5 babies. The recipe for the hatching enzymes required seeds and samples from a bunch of alien fauna. Oh, by the way, you may notice it was day 101 at this point, so I guess this is overtime. You're very welcome for the bonus content. I searched the surrounding area in hope that all the plants I needed would be here, as I really could not be bothered scouring the entire ocean trying to find them. But the only one I found nearby was the sea crown. After a fruitless search for the others, I tried a different plan.
I got a feeling, got a bit of an inkling. What if I just go through each of these?
The maths was adding up. I needed 4 more plant samples and I had 4 portals at my disposal. And sure enough, I was right. Through the first one, I found this idiot.
What are you doing in here? You don't belong in here. Get punched in the head.
And more importantly, a ghost weed. Through the next, an eye stalk. And the third, a common bulb bush. And finally, a tree mushroom. These were all in disparate biomes all over the place, so I was very grateful for the portals. I made a couple of ion power cells for my prawn suit, because why not? And then I crafted the enzyme.
Hatching enzymes. Beautiful. Let's do it. Hello. Sea Emperor Juvenile. Healthy and exhibiting signs of a positive attitude to life. That's what we like to hear. Hello, Mama. Hello, Mama.
My young are swimming for the shallows. I thank you. Their freedom is my end.
What?
What will it be like, I wonder, to go to sleep and never wake up? Perhaps next we meet, I will be an ocean current, carrying seas to a new land. Or a creature so small, it sees the gaps between the grains of sand.
We're talking about reincarnation?
Farewell, friend.
You're just gonna die? Right there? Alright, I guess I go through. Oh. Where's the zappy zappy machine? What's this? Concentrated enzyme. I'm healed?
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. No remaining sign of bacterial infection.
Rest in peace, Big Mama. You saved me. You saved me.
And so at last I was healed, and there were 5 new sea emperors loose to spread about their enzyme, which I guess will heal the ecosystem at large too. And all that was left for me to do was leave this wet planet behind. But first I wanted to play with my cuttlefish some more.
Alright, let's release this cuttlefish outside and see what happens. Ah. Oh, have a little chippy or whatever that is. Alright, well, you can hang out near my base. That's cute. That's very cute.
I created the Neptune launch platform, and I got to work building my rocket, starting with the gantry, and then the boosters, the fuel reserve, and finally the cockpit.
Fly, fly, bye, bye. Oh, it doesn't fit. Fly, fly, bye, bye. It's perfect. Goodbye, Shrimpy McDonk. Goodbye, the SS Drongo. Goodbye, the Red Noodle Base. Goodbye, Cuttlefish. Goodbye, Shrimpy McSlap down there in the depths and the pretty tree base. Goodbye, Hideous Leviathan. Goodbye, Chonky Zuma. You served me well. You became my home for the second half of this run. Goodbye, Giant Wreck. Goodbye, Ridiculous Ocean.
After that deeply moving marathon of farewells, I finally entered the fly bye-bye.
Hydraulic systems, communications array, auxiliary power.
With all of those things turned on, I climbed up to the bridge, where I had some more stuff to turn on. There was also a time capsule for me to leave behind for the next intrepid goose on the loose that gets stuck here. I placed in the choicest goods, and I left this wonderful message. Pause now if you want to read it.
That's perfect, right?
I turned on the CPU, and it was time to launch.
Cannot launch rocket while quarantine. Enforcement platform is still active.
I thought I didn't need to deactivate it because it wouldn't shoot down someone who doesn't have the disease.
I don't know why I thought that, because that makes exactly 0 sense. And so I zoomed all the way to the enforcement platform.
Dong 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 dong. Go on then, give me a stab. Give me a stab, you big needle. Cool.
And I zoomed all the way back.
Fly, fly, Miss American, fly. Blah, 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 fly, fly, bye, 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 fly, fly, bye. We're ready to go. I think it magically turned to daytime.
Ready to launch on your command, Captain.
It did. Magical daytime.
Launch in 10, 9, 8.
What the heck?
7, 6.
There's weird birds.
5.
Where'd they come from?
2, 1. Time capsule jettisoned.
Good luck, Dingus. Enjoy your time capsule.
To the stars. To the stars.
Whoa.
Caution. Approaching orbital debris field.
Well, that's a bad start.
Orbital debris field clear. Engaging ion boosters in 3, 2, 1.
Goodbye, planet. Whoa. What on earth is this? Fade to white.
What is a wave without the ocean? A beginning without an end. They are different, but they go together. Now you go among the stars, and I fall among the sand. We are different, but we go together.
We go together. That's beautiful.
And just like that, my 105 days in Subnautica were complete. Don't forget to check out War Thunder. Play using the link below to receive a large free pack of goodies and immerse yourself in dynamic battles with an unparalleled combination of realism and approachability. It's available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So what are you waiting for, mate? Go have a good time with it.